Welcome to the Kawartha Small Business Podcast, where we believe the Kawarthas can be the most thriving region in Canada for small businesses. I'm Brian Rump from Profit Coach.
And I'm Matt Geraghty from Matty G Digital.
And we are recording from the Thrive Podcast Studio at Thrive Co-working Community, 18 Kent Street West in downtown Lindsay. We're here today with Louis Karkabasis. Tell us about yourself.
Hi guys, how are you? Thanks for having me. First and foremost, it's great to be here and be asked to be part of your guys' podcast, which is pretty amazing.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thanks for having me. So, I don't know if anyone knows me, doesn't know me. Louis Karkabasis. I raised in Lindsay, came here when I was 3, moved on Victoria Street, which is right next to the police station. Now there was an old building, and we moved there. Then moved across the park, 60 Peel Street, went to grade school at Alexandra, went to middle school at Central and high school at LCVI. Then took off to Toronto for my last year of high school, playing basketball. If everyone knows me, I would play basketball. For a career, played in university. Then I played pro in Europe.
Oh, wow.
For 7-8 seasons. Moved to California, started wine business, was there for 15 years, had a daughter. My dad says, come back to town, boy, it'd be good for Lindsay.
Yeah.
And came back 15 years ago and opened a restaurant down the street, Pane Vino. And last year sold it. And now we're on to new and other things.
Why'd you come back to Lindsay? I'm always fascinated to ask that because we get so much criticism about Lindsay. And then you hear so many stories of, I was born here, I grew up here, I left because I don't like it here. And then people are always coming back, which is interesting to me because I'm a transplant. And I will always be that way. I'm sure even when I die here, hopefully at a very old age, people will always be like, oh, that guy's not from Lindsay, right?
Right. And they do have that. This is Lindsay's very, how do you say it, concentric.
Yes.
It's its own little community. And there's been a lot of many years with my father, with council, with mayors, how Lindsay was just for Lindsay. Mm-hmm. And surrounding areas, no one wanted to be part of the Victoria County thing. Lindsay protected Lindsay. Bob Cajun did its own. Mimi did its own. Oakwood did its own. Little Britain, Fenland Falls, they all did their own stuff, right? And then but Lindsay was for Lindsay. So when you say that, I totally understand that. What brings you back? Well, my father, we grew up in the restaurant business. 1960, I'm going to say 7. My dad bought the Cottage Restaurant, which is now Thai by Joe. Is that the name right now?
Yep.
It was Chaba Thai, but Thai by Joe. Yep. That was a Cottage Restaurant. And where we are today, which is such a beautiful space, people, you need to come see this place at Thrive. It's amazing what's been done down here. Because this was part of the York Tavern, which before that, when I was a young little guy, this was the Benson Hotel. And the Benson Hotel and the Sailfish Lounge.
Oh,
and
wow.
the Cottage Restaurant was the restaurant part of the hotel and the residences here. And it was primarily like day hotel come in, but also monthly residences upstairs, which are still here now, right? There's apartments still here now. And the Cottage Restaurant was an icon at that time. Was that the Chateau? And then it was the place that was out on the highway that the Vasileros brothers owned this restaurant. And as I'm getting old, I'm starting to forget this stuff.
It's archived now.
It is archived. It's somewhere here. You get the Bonfire Restaurant. Thank you. It just came to me. So they sold the Cottage Restaurant to my dad and 5 partners. And my dad eventually was the only one who stayed here. And we had that for 25 years. And it was an icon as a restaurant destination in Lindsay. Family restaurant, Sunday, breakfast, lunch, dinner, 6 a.m. till midnight every day, right? There was a little post on Facebook the other day where, those old, what's happening in old Lindsay. And
I saw that on Facebook from the archives.
There was a little cottage restaurant menus and stuff. Well, I grew on that 25-cent coffee, 60-cent honey buns, the whole 195 breakfast.
Yeah.
Bacon and eggs. I washed glasses, did everything. I grew up in the restaurant business, right? So what brought me back? My dad, full circle, says, come back. It'll be great to raise your daughter in Lindsay, which has been great. You know?
Yeah.
Started at Montessori, and now she's finishing grade 12 at IU Weldon. She didn't go to LC. Sorry, LCBI Spartans.
Yeah.
She went to Weldon, right? Different times.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much in a nutshell how I came back. And when I came back, I was going, oh, what am I going to do now? I was going to get in the wine business. And my dad says, you should open a restaurant. You know, your background of importing Italian wines and Greek wines and Californian wines into the U.S., you should bring that up here or do something similar up here. And then I was sitting at the Olympia one day having a coffee, like I am right now, having a great coffee with the boys here.
Yeah.
In walked a local owner of buildings, Steve Podolsky, which we all know. Then Sean Marr, they own this building here. They said, hey, we have a space that's open down here. You should come down and look at it.
Oh.
So I came down and looked at it, and then I brought my sister in. My dad came in. I go, what do you guys think? Should I do something? I want to do something wine-related and do something that was completely different that's never been done in town. There have been great restaurants. There have been some great chefs that gone through here. Joel, who had Joel's. And I looked at buying that building and taking that location over and putting a restaurant in there and updating it, bring some of my California flair and love of, you know, great atmosphere, brick walls, wood floors, a little design behind something where you're eating, right? And also upscale the food a bit.
Yeah.
A little more local, a little more presentation to Italian, which is the number one food group in the world still to this day, growing every year. So you'll see how that happens. It's Italian, and then, you know, you have your American diners, your barbecue, your stuff. And then you'll have burgers and blah, blah, blah. And then you'll get down to your French bistros. But it's Italian, Mediterranean, Greek.
Yeah.
And then all the rest fall in place, right? So
why do you think that is?
It's just Italians have been the best exporters of food and wine. Next to the French. But the French have fallen out of fancy, especially in the new world of food, right? The too much butters, the too much style of food. You know, that was good in the 70s and 80s with Julia Childs and Wolfgang Puck and all these guys doing that heavy French-centric food.
Sure.
California changed that whole thing upside down, where you just started seeing more fresh, lively, vibrant, fresh pastas, fresh ingredients to make this stuff. And when I was in California, there's this renaissance called Cal-Ital. So not straight Italian, let's bastardize it a bit. Not chicken parmesan, not veal parmesan, non-existent in Italian.
Not the New Jersey Italian.
That's not what we're talking about. Like, and I try to do a restaurant that's not at that stuff. There is no such thing as chicken parmesan in Italy. Some people may make it, but it's not on the menus of stuff. You know, spaghetti, meatballs. You'd order a pasta and you'd get the polpette on the side.
Did they have pizza bagels there?
Non-existent, brother.
Okay.
Pizza with, we'll get back to that funny thing about pizza. That's a great thing. It's like pizza with pineapple on it.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about that. That's a whole other
Do you agree
story.
with it?
I agree that, listen, the customers drive what they want.
Yeah, if you want to eat
Right.
it, eat it.
I put it on my thing this last little bit. I did a Hawaiian pizza, made it spicy, did all that stuff. All my Italian friends in Toronto were like, Luigi, come va, man. What are you doing? Like, what's up with you? Because the Italian guys, it's completely like forbidden.
Yeah.
No way you put pineapple on a pizza. But then I tell them, there was a Greek guy here in Canada that developed this in the 60s. He put pineapples on pizza, added some ham on it, and put red peppers on it, and called it the Hawaiian. And it became famous in North America. Now you see Hawaiian pizza everywhere.
Yeah.
So I tell them a Greek guy did it, so I get to do it too.
Yeah.
An elevated Hawaiian pizza,
Elevated
like you guys would have done last week, and I love Piedmont Pizza,
Right.
and I love their spicy Hawaiian. I think it's spicy Hawaiian, and those type of elevated Hawaiian pizzas.
Right.
Those are good.
Right. And you know, we're lucky we have the Piedmont,
Yes.
which came in, they did this stuff. It took them a while to find their footing in the quarters. It took a while for people to understand
Yeah.
what's going on. Could they do things better? Of course. Could they do things worse? They have. So they've fixed themselves in a great place. They've aligned themselves the way they should have been aligned from day one. And not bad-mouthing anyone or saying anything bad.
Oh, it
took
takes
them
a while. It's
to
a-
understand where they're at, especially guys that were never in the industry.
Yeah.
There was a group of people that had an idea. They put the idea down, did it, but without the foray of understanding what it takes to do actual hospitality business
Yeah.
to make it. They found their footing and they're rock and roll right now, right?
Yeah.
So it's a great addition to the Kawarthas to drive people in here, patio, cyclists, people coming through, you know, especially on the weekends on Sundays where there's not much happening in Lindsay. Lindsay's a drive-through location.
Yeah.
People come here, do their shopping, get their stuff, and then going cottages. When we're saying
Yeah.
this is Kawartha Lakes, right?
They're here because of you. Gusto's here because of you.
Exactly.
I believe.
I,
I'm here 6 years now, and when we first moved here, my wife and me, our kids were really young, like babies. And there's no other place to go for a date. Like quiet, really beautiful. I'll use the word elevated again. It was so unique, Pane Vino was to Lindsay. And I was used to that a little bit down in Whippy and other places around there, right? So you were the only one. And then Piedmont came. And it's different than Pane Vino, but in the way owes a lot to you. Because Piedmont was, okay, it's a bit more lively. Or you want to go with a group of people, that's where I would go, right? Pane Vino, me and my wife, maybe one other couple, have an amazing experience. And then Gusto comes, and I think they owe a lot to you. And I think so many restaurants owe you, I don't know how to say this, but like, or because of you in a way.
well, that's a great compliment, and I take that. I don't take it lightly because when I came back to town and we did this stuff, the comments from people were like, "What is he doing? This is
Sure.
crazy! Oh my God, what is that? Pane Vino? That's what they call it, like."
Yeah.
Trattoria guys, you know, well, when I was in California, I imported wine. So I'm going to take it back to California.
Yeah.
When we go back to this, and it was 10, 12, 14 years of this business as an importer distributor. I started the business. I was like, what am I going to do? I found a mentor. Mentor says to me, hey, Lou, do what you love and love what you do. And when you love what you do, it's not work. It becomes part of what you do, and that expression, that passion just comes out in everything that you're going to do.
Yeah.
So I go, great, I had some money, I finished playing pro hoop, recently married, I've got this stuff, I go and I import I rent a big 2,500 square foot space in Oakland, California, because it's close to the ports to bring wine in. I just listened to what everyone said to me to do. I got all this stuff, did all this stuff, did my licensing, got all my background checks, because America, when you import a spirit, it's an event where you have to go through BATF, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, CIA, FBI.
Blood samples.
It is. It's crazy because I imported spirits. Wine is a little open, but once you get into spirits, it's a controlled substance.
Yeah.
So they had to do all this stuff for my warehousing. I started this. I met a few. I'd met while I was playing pro basketball in Greece. We went to Bordeaux. I'm going to circle around here and how this started. Went to Bordeaux. There was a war almost happened in Greece, and they had to get me out because I was going to be conscripted as a Greek Canadian boy. All the teams that were playing, all the guys were all conscripted. They're almost ready to go to war with Turkey. They fly me out the middle of the night. I go to Bordeaux, and I'm visiting one of the team owner's sons. And I remember this as it is like right now. It's 7:30 at night, middle of winter. I'm in Bordeaux, walking up the stairs to this place, and we go by this one guy's front window, and there's about 100 wine glasses in there. I go, what's going on here? And I love wine. I love drinking rosé and whites. Not really a red wine drinker, although grew up in the whole thing around alcohol and stuff. He goes, oh, he's a sommelier. I go, it's a sommelier? idea what that is. Oh, he says, let's go. He knocks on the door and we start tasting wine. I'm tasting, drinking. I'm annihilated.
Yeah.
At the end of the thing. These guys are tasting and spitting and tasting. I have no idea what's going on. Just like tasting different wines. He says, next day, I wake up in the morning and they go, you want to go visit some wineries? I go, sure. They knew that I played pro basketball for Club Olympiakos in Greece, which is a pretty famous club. I played in France twice that year. Not saying that I was somebody, but they knew me.
Yeah.
It was, they knew the team, they knew the club.
They make some connections.
Yes, there's a connection, all this stuff. So the next day he comes and picks us up in a Porsche 911. Throws one guy in the back, throws me in the front, he gets it, takes us, we go to Rothschild. I don't know what Rothschild is. Needless to say, it's like one of the biggest estates in the world.
Yeah.
The wines are $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 a bottle.
Wow.
You know, at that time it was maybe $400 or $500. It hadn't reached that crazy level, but still, we went to 5 estates that day. The doors opened up. I was like, "What is this world? What's going on here?" Right? It just changed my whole perspective on the wine industry and food and wine. I was a foodie.
Yeah.
But the food and wine industry, and then I started looking on. So I was there 8 more years in Greece, traveling around Europe, and I was the one guy. Everyone else would be taking off to playing Nintendo. I'm going down having a coffee. I'm having treats. I'm going to wine bars. They go, "What are you doing?" I'm going to museums. I'm going to see all this stuff.
Yeah.
I want to take all this in. This is unbelievable what we have. So I was started at that time going, wow, I love wine. And in Greece was having a wine renaissance at that time too. Although behind everyone else, Italy was already on the foray.
Yeah.
France is on the foray. Spain is just starting. Portugal has their port. The red and white wines, the still wines aren't really out in the world. Same thing with Greek wines. You know, you say Greece, everyone goes Retsina. But there's a whole other wine world out there. So I met a few people, met contacts, met owners, pro athlete. I moved to California, sort of finished my career, not in the best circumstances with these guys. I'm in California. I go, I'm going to start importing wine. So I call these guys, got some money. I buy 300 cases of him, 200 cases of him, 150 cases of that, this 200. Talk to a few wine guys. This is how you should start your portfolio. Get all this stuff going. I get my first container into the warehouse. It's 900 cases. I don't know how to sell wine. I bought all the stuff. So I started knocking on people's doors. Do you guys want some wine? Right? Going to see all the Greek restaurants because you started from there.
Yeah.
And it was an easy sell to the Greek stuff. And I was selling into these small little restaurants, boutique Greek places, doing okay. But then I want to go to I'm in California.
Yeah.
I decided to import Greek wines, which no one knows anything about. And neither do I. I meet another guy, Peter Marks, Master of Wine. I go, what's a Master of Wine? At that time, there were 90 in the world. He can taste 8 wines in 20 minutes and tell you exactly where they're from down to the vineyard in the year. It's pretty amazing stuff. I was like flabbergasted. I go, I knew what a sommelier was, but I didn't know what level you had to be to do this stuff. So I go, I got to learn. So I took a course that they said, you have to do this course, Wine and Spirit Education Trust. I go, perfect. Where's it out of? London, the UK. I fly to London. 1 week, immersed in this course. Do the exam, I pass. My first one, everyone's like, wow.
Oh, wow.
Come back to California. I got to do my level 2. Flat in New York. 4 more days in New York City. Pass that one. The next one is 8 months later. I'm talking, we're tasting wines, okay? This isn't 2,000 wines a year. This is over the course of tasting, spitting, drinking, enjoying, selling. I get my Wine and Spirits Education Trust. I fly to the UK again. I get my diploma. And I'm a certified sommelier in that school. another master wine says, hey man, you should do the quartermaster sommeliers. It would be great to have you, because I was starting to do a lot of tastings. Now that I've got a bit of background, this is like 2-3 years after I started importing, how I've just dedicated myself to the wine industry. And now I'm selling wine. Hey, how's this wine made? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Let's dissect this stuff. How can I get other people to sell it? And that's when my business took off. It took off from, 5,000 cases a year to 40,000 cases a year. Me, 2 drivers delivering, a couple sales guys, someone in the office, from just me doing a little entrepreneur thing, driving around in the back of my Ford Explorer, delivering wine. A couple cargo vans, forklifts, warehouse. It becomes an entity, right? And it was fantastic. Brought a partner in. He had a little more cash than me, a lot more cash. As times go, partners didn't do that well together. He buys me out. And at that time, just had my daughter with my wife, and we go, what do you want to do? My dad says, come back to Lindsay. So come full forward to coming back, sitting down, going through the space, opening up Pane Vino at that time. And I came up with a name. A friend of mine, Italian place in the beach of San Francisco, had a place called Pane Vino. So I said, can I use your name? He says, everybody uses that name. Everyone's got that name, because everyone there's a Pane Vino in Miami. There's another one here that's all over the world, right? But they were one of the first guys in San Francisco. They were there forever, like 40 years.
Yeah.
And I asked them, what do you think? They said, you do it, man. We love you. Go ahead. It'd be fantastic. With our blessing and with all this stuff, blah. So I come here to Lindsay. We own the Olympia restaurant. At least my family does. Dad, sister, and her husband, Costa now, that are running it. And I had to get their blessing. I said, I want to do something Italian. There's no Italian place around here, right? There's nothing doing what I want to do. I want to elevate the experience. 30 seats, designer, brought a designer in that I knew. There was someone that I'd met. I'd seen a couple places that he had done. He did one in Peterborough, which was a beautiful space. And I said, I'm going to use him to design this little place with me, because space needs design.
Yeah, you need designers.
You can't just sit there and go, I'm going to put it together and paint it this color and do whatever I want. You need someone to understand what you're doing. And then I have design aptitude also, right? I'm that kind of person. I like the way things feel, the way things look, lighting, how this room feels in here. If anyone can see this little dark room, it's a fantastic room. It's got a great space and it's calming, which is what my restaurant was.
Yes.
It was calming for people, right? And when I did it, we had the price point a little higher, brought a chef in. I brought in service standards, wine standards. No one had ever seen 100-bottle wine list. There was 50 spirits on the menu. There's 25, 30 scotches, 5 gins, 6 different vodkas. Who would ever made a vodka with a martini with Belvedere? No one had. It was just barley stuff. It was never elevated that experience where let's change the dynamics, what people are doing in here. And that's how it was in most of my California restaurants that I sold to. I sold to some amazing places, Chez Panisse, Thomas Keller's. I've been associated with some amazing places, so I wanted to do that, but I didn't want to make it so no one would come.
Yeah.
I wanted to just elevate it to a level which was nicer than anything that's been done here ever. And I'm not knocking the Olympia. I'm not knocking
we need
guys that are here.
You need an ecosystem, and to me, it's like you need competition, different options to draw people and think of coming to downtown Lindsay.
Exactly.
Because it's like I like Hunter Street in Peterborough, because if you drive to Hunter Street, you're probably going to get a seat somewhere nice, and there's some few different options, and you want that in Lindsay, because if you go to the Olympia and it's full, you're disappointed.
Right.
So you want multiple places.
So when I first moved back too, I met a group out of Peterborough, and I went to buy the Park Hill on Hunter.
Oh, okay.
And the deal almost went through. The chef that was there originally had a health issue, cancer. He's passed away since then, but I tried to bring him back.
Oh, okay.
And I'll put the deal together only if he comes back with me. If he comes back, I said, you don't have to work every day, but 3 days a week, lead a team, teach everyone your menu stuff, and if I use your name, we'll go forward. And he just couldn't commit to it. So I didn't commit to Park Hill on Hunter, which, changed the dynamics of where I was. I went there, I ate there, I loved that feel of it. I didn't like their dining room as much, but I liked what they were doing.
They had a great reputation.
A great reputation, right? So I wanted to bring that, and I go, I'm having dinner there one day, and there's 4 families from Lindsay. In the place. I go, why is everyone from Lindsay going to Peterborough? How do we bring people back here? This is the God honest truth.
Yeah.
And I sat down in that space over there, kicked everyone out. I looked at it and I go, I think we can do it here. And I said, with the option, next to me was a framing house that was running a framing shop for so long, but he was on the end of his career too. And I said, if that space comes in, I'm taking that too, because I just want to make it bigger and do more stuff. So that's how that happened. I opened with one side of the restaurant, then we blow the wall out and redid all, designed that and made that extra little space, which we call it the wine bar part, right? And then I tried to make that into strictly wine bar. Tapas wine.
Yeah.
Didn't run.
Oh.
Didn't run.
It's beautiful. Like, I've had some nice group dinners on that side, and I just, every time I was there, I'm like, what? This is
such a beautiful space. And I fought with fire departments and stuff to keep that ceiling, to leave some of the old structure in it. We took the walls down to the brick again, did all that stuff, did the floors, bar, try to keep it in that thing. But it became more of a restaurant. So we we got to adapt. Adapted to that. And, caterings went through chefs. Some great chefs came through. My first chef was Keelan Curry, local Lindsay boy, who's now in the UK. Michelin star restaurant he's working at. Dessert stuff. The guy's pretty amazing. It was a time when we started, he was young, came in full of vigor and vim and passion and craziness. Chefs are all that way. Owners are all that way, right? You have to find that, trying to strike that balance between managing people and keeping things for the customers, and then service staff, everything else that goes along with it. He was my first chef, and he was there a year and a half, and then I brought in Chef Andrew Monroe, who is now the carving chef. I don't know if you've ever seen the guy. He's on the way to Felon Falls on a farm on the right-hand side. It's called the Carving Chef. He carves...
Really?
Yeah, he carves...
wood carvings.
Yeah, because he's moving that business to the nursery. For drawing a blank on the name, but I just saw his post that he's going to be operating out of...
He's moving. He's moving,
there,
right?
Yeah.
Chef Monroe helped make Pane Vino. Took it to that next level. Keelan did a fantastic job up to his point and stuff, and then some that you don't see eye to eye, you don't see that. If we could take it all back and come back at the whole thing of it, we'd all handle things differently. But that's how we live and learn, right? Monroe helped make Pane Vino what it was, right? Brought back a little bit of the old school food, old style, which appealed more to the Kawarthas. So you have to appeal to people around here, right? And do try and make it so it's appealing, it's accessible, but also elevated. I love that word, elevated.
Yeah.
Right? And my wine program was, and importing, selling, distributing, all that stuff. People loved coming there because there was always a different wine on the list. There's another 30, 40 selections, 50, 100, 200. We got up to a point where there were 300 different wines on the wine list, which is unheard of anywhere outside of Toronto, right?
Oh yeah, I was just thinking. Growing up, it was like red or white. Like, I didn't even know. Like I am new to actually enjoying wine because I just realized I have a certain taste profile that I like, but I was never exposed to anything.
And I wouldn't stop talking about it, so eventually he started drinking a bit
Well,
more. Yeah.
I started getting into it when I worked in government grants. We worked with a lot of wineries, and I love like the story of wine, like how it's made, just all the different vineyards, like all the things you learn is so amazing. I just couldn't drink some of them for a while.
I get it.
Then I got out of it, and now I'm kind of back into that world and just love exploring it and love hearing about different ones and how they're made and where it's from. Like it adds to the experience of going out and having someone, help you pick a bottle of wine and trying different things.
I love that I got to be an ambassador for a lot of wineries and a lot of wine presentations. Like being a wine advocate is, it is a substance which can cause damage to some people, right? Alcohol, spirits, cigarettes for that, weed, all that stuff. We're into that grouping, right? So I'm a purveyor of that product. There is an old Greek saying, Socrates said, pan metron ariston, which is everything within measure.
Yes.
So food, life, work. When we talk about this now, work-life balance, right? We talk about that was not heard of 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Unheard of, right? But we're getting back to that part of that world. So pan metron ariston still, in all our lives, still is something I strive for. I try to keep everything within reason, right? I love wine. Sure, I could drink 2 bottles. Do I? No. I enjoy wine. Everyone knows I enjoy wine. Everyone knows that I sell wine. Everyone who's got to meet me knows my love of wine and food. And the service aspect of it is service. And that's something I grew up in. And it was service, from a little kid. At the cottage restaurant, to the Olympia restaurant, to my life over there, I've always been in service.
It's an experience, a restaurant. People don't go for the food solely. And I think that's what's going to hurt a lot of these delivery, takeout. You are seeing some mid-range to high-end restaurants getting on the DoorDashes, etc. Like, the food is good. It has to be good. But you're coming back for the experience.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's going to hurt those restaurants down the road. And that's what separated you specifically years ago. So
yeah, we did a great job. I've always had a great team around me. I've surrounded myself with people that I trust. And as I told everyone that works with me, it's your business and my business. The better you do, the better I do.
yeah.
You be yourself. I'm not going to tell you how you're going to be that server to that table. I will give you parameters on what we say and how we do and how we deal with all that stuff, but it's your place, just like it's my place.
Yeah.
The better everyone does, the better the whole place is, and the more it speaks for downtown Lindsay. So when I started right next to the CIBC, that's William Street, there was the York. There was nothing else. And the sub shop. When I opened Pane Vino, I called William Street Berlin Wall. People would walk to Sweet Annie's.
I heard that from your dad.
and they'd walk back.
Yeah.
They'd never go past because they were afraid to go because the York had such a bad name for a long time. A long time. When I opened up, after the York was closed, let me tell you, everything I had out front was destroyed. It was a disaster. Once the York closed, it changed the dynamics. I was there, and we started pushing 15,000 people a year coming to that little restaurant. We made it up to almost 20,000 a year. It was like 19,000 guests coming through in that little restaurant, right? And then COVID happened. And the streets got closed. Everyone forgets about the street closure and redoing all that stuff. Everyone forgets about that stuff because COVID took over all that stuff, but that was happening before COVID. They were going to shut down.
Yeah.
downtown Lindsay. Redo the streets, redo all the sewers and the sewage and all that stuff that was going on there. It was 100 years old infrastructure, that new sidewalks. I don't like what they've done. I love the sidewalks. I don't love the push-outs. I don't like the parking structure. They didn't design it right in my thinking, because 50% of Lindsay are in pickup trucks.
Yeah, we watch some pickup trucks
honest truth
every day.
That is the truth of the Kawarthas. You know, we are a farming community.
Yeah.
And it has been. We grew up in this farming community that provided me and everyone else in the restaurant business some amazing quality stuff to sell and support farmers. But the way they designed this, it's all wrong. I love the sidewalks.
Yeah.
The whole parking thing is totally wrong. You can't back up, you know, and we are in a older community and a farming community. So you guys see it. You're downtown all the time. And the speed limits are now 40 kilometers an hour. I got to say something. We're slowing down even more. I don't get it. I don't get this stuff.
We see a vehicle hit the curb every day
At least
out there at lunch, and every single time it's a pickup truck.
Right.
It's just become a comical joke at this point.
Right. But it was. They didn't design it for bigger vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Sadly,
Yeah.
it wasn't designed that way. Great space. They've done a great job. Downtown looks better than ever, right?
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that I feel about it, right? That just didn't work out. We can go on forever.
You want to? It's on the tip of your tongue. I'm going to ask you a different question, not to
away.
get you. Why'd you move on from Pane Vino?
Okay, so COVID comes in. We adapted. Wine dinners, takeaway, pizzas. Man, we did everything. Saturday morning markets, which were fantastic, right? I said, let's bring in some local bakers. Stephanie, Aaron's Bake Shop, me making stuff, donuts from Tiff, whoever we could get to make stuff for it and sell some coffee and get people out of there. Come buy some wine, buy some Italian things that you can't buy anywhere else. You know, Lamantia's got some stuff too, but we were doing things that he didn't do, and he has things that I didn't do, so we had our own little groupings of things, right? And it was great, you know, cake by the lake. You want to get your cheesecakes, it's here. You want to get tiramisus to go. You want to get beer and wine, it was all there, right? And it became, a Saturday market became a fantastic thing, and it saved us through COVID. Brought staff back, got things going, and after the 2 years of this stuff, I was just tired. Tired of all this stuff. Tired of not being able to get, as I was saying off mic, was staffing was the biggest issue. And staffing that's specific to what we were doing, like chefs, sous chefs. You know, found a couple, and it was working great for the last bit, and then the one guy, young lad, says, I'm going on mat leave, my wife, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't fill positions. So it was just like, time is done. And at that time, my dad wasn't well, and it affected the way I was thinking about life and all this stuff, how I go on from here. Do I stay? Do I put it out? Or do I just get out of this business right now and take a bit of a break? So sold the contents, not Pane Vino. Sold the contents and everything. And he was my previous chef for about 6 years, was Justin Gardshore. And he's down there now with Bistro 93 doing his own thing. So
been a couple times for lunch. It's good.
So he's doing his own stuff, which has taken him a while to get into his groove. But I think he's going to do great over the time, right?
Yeah.
And I went to Europe, went to Greece, went to California, almost took a job down there, almost took a job in Europe. Daughter's still here at high school. I didn't want to uproot her and get her out of this stuff. And what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Let's do. People are asking me, hey, Lou, can you do some pizzas?
Yeah.
I go, sure. My mind's always thinking about what people are doing all the time, right? And I watch, Barstool Sports and Pizza Guys and all these things. we're all in the same pizzaiolas. I became a pizzaiola over the course of this time, right? I'm a certified pizza guy. I make pizza from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Pizza Napolitana, Neapolitan style pizza, that thin style pizza, right? And, we cooked it on an electric oven. I couldn't get gas into that space, but it was a high-end, at Pane Vino, it was an electric oven that cooked at 700 degrees Fahrenheit, right? So pizza's done in 3 minutes, 2.5, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, depending. Small oven. We changed the whole dynamics of pizza in this town, right?
Yeah.
And it's love it, hate it, but the haters all became to loving it.
Yeah.
And everyone was used to Canadian pizza, right?
There's a time and a place for that.
There is a time and a place.
Usually
for it.
sucks.
Yeah.
But there's a time and a place for
There's
that.
a time and a place
You guys
for it.
started it, and it's different. And I'm not a pizzaola, as you described it,
Right.
but Gusto's got wicked pizza.
Yeah.
Pied Monk, Rolling Grape. I don't know if you've been.
I haven't been to Rolling Grape. I heard their pizza's fantastic.
The pizza's wicked.
It's wicked. They have a wood-fired oven, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Have
the
you
whole.
had the pizza at Norman Hardy Winery?
I haven't.
Johannes, who's their operations manager, makes the he's from Germany, and he makes all the meats as well,
Right.
and cures them. It's outstanding.
Fantastic
experience.
Right. So, I love pizza. I could eat pizza 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Do I want pineapple on my pizza? Maybe not, but I like what we did.
Yeah.
I used a carved ham, some jalapenos, some nice mini peppers, and fresh pineapple, spicy honey. It was kind of tasty. I sit there and go wow,
Yeah.
this stuff's pretty good. I understand why people like it, right? And I love that stuff. But how it started, I'm sitting there going, I got to do something right now. Everyone keeps on asking, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm in between stuff. My dad wasn't well. He says, do something with your sister. Costa says, why don't you do something in my oven here? It's sitting here right now. It does nothing on the weekends. We cook during the day, prep everything, but we use our line to do everything. I said, why don't we do pizza? I had a company called Aroma. I said, put Aroma Pizza, put it on the thing, see what happens. Everyone, I said, this will be great. Put it on Insta, only Instagram. It's taken a lot of the older crowd a while to understand
I was
that.
going to say, because I took Instagram off my phone, and then he'll text me about when pizza's on, and I just get angry because I missed it.
I get it, and I understand that.
I love the model of how you're doing it.
Right.
From a business economics standpoint.
It's great, and I got some help. I used Stephanie James who helped me do some things, some design with Emma. I AI'd a logo. Just sitting there going, I put in, I want a pizza with a piece missing, pepperoni, mushrooms, Aroma Pizza, Napolitana, give me a design. And here comes 30 designs. I go, this one's the most visually appealing. I changed a few things, did that stuff, and just did it that way. And now, the more I do it, let's say every Friday, or every other Friday or Saturday, whatever comes up, whatever's availability for everyone to do it, I just post it.
It was once a month at first, and now it's almost every week, right?
Right. So what happens is, when I did it once a month, I get 50, 60 pizzas. I could physically, myself, I can't make them any faster.
Yeah.
I'm doing a pizza every minute and a half.
Yeah,
you can't make it any faster, especially when it's hand done. There is no roller. It's done by hand. Sauce is done by hand. Wow. Mozzarella, I hand grate it. There is no... we don't cut corners. It's let's use the best.
Yeah.
Like we did at Pane Vino.
Yeah.
And just do it the same. Or do something similar. Change a few things. Change the weekly wine feature. Using the Olympia to help me. I source the wines. I use their guys, just so it's their location, right? And this week I'm doing a Caesar salad, which people are asking for salads.
The most interesting part of this is not that you're doing pizza, but from a business perspective, the fact you're doing a ghost kitchen, which is so unique for this area and region, which is so cool.
So I'm trying to turn other places onto it to let
Yes.
me come to their place. I'm doing one next month in
love
Uxbridge.
pop-ups like that. Yeah.
So I'm doing one in Uxbridge. So people are getting there. It's taking a little while. We
Yeah.
are in Lindsay.
Yeah.
Things take a little longer to get out there, but just this last weekend, I did it Friday night. Lady Google's pizza in Lindsay. Up comes Aroma Pizza. She's driving from Whitby here. I don't know who she is. There's people I don't even know.
drive. Mikhail was telling me for his bread, like he just texts out when he has batches, and he like has all his emails and contacts. It's like people will drive an hour to pick up bread.
To pick up bread. People drive from all over just to get pizza.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You
would
know, they're-
drive for pizza.
They're coming in, and it travels well. And plus, it's great to come in and see us. We're there, making it.
Yeah.
I'm covered in dust. It's
Yeah.
not. I'm covered in flour. We're not sitting there going, "Oh, it was." We're making it, and we're using the same olive oil from my village that I used before. We're doing to finish. It's a fun business model. It's fun because I don't know what's going to happen this week.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to order.
Yeah.
Have no idea how many. I prep this much pizza. I don't prep to have 100 pizzas that night. I physically can't do it.
Yeah.
So I'll do 50, right? And when we say sold out, it's sold out, man. It's done.
Have you found any sort of drop or increase from when you were going month to month to week? Because, like, from my perspective, I'm wondering, marketing-wise even, is it better for that scarcity? Of like, oh, it's only going to be there once a month. I
week
gotta
is
get
still
there.
scarce. I think.
True.
Yeah.
It's still scarce
Okay.
once a week. Listen, I posted yesterday. I already have 5 orders today.
Yeah.
I'll post again. I don't do every day. I'll leave Wednesdays off. I'll do a Thursday post. Friday morning, it's just like bang, 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 bang. Orders. People saying it becomes. What I found is Friday nights in Lindsay is usually pizza night for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've become part of that pizza thing. Here's a great bottle of wine this week. You'll see I'll do a different bottle of wine.
Yeah.
I'll do tiramisu. Maybe we did Stephanie's cookies one week. You know, it's not that we're selling 20 orders of
Yeah.
cookies, but she sells 7 orders of cookies.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter. It's like 7 more that no one did
Yeah.
before. If I sell 35 pizzas this last Friday, it wasn't that busy. We're like, oh man, what's going on? It is this time of year. People are going away.
Yeah.
Kids are doing other stuff. Things are happening. Friday at 5, it just like orders just kept on coming in. I was out of pizza doughs. Done. With the last one came in, he's texted me at 7. Do you have a pizza? I have 1 dough left. This is
Wow.
perfect. I'll be there at 7:30. Right? So it's that way. I don't know how it's going to work out and how it does. And when you say scarcity, not scarcity, I do it, and whatever happens, happens. One night I did a Friday night, it was like dead. I did it again Saturday. I sold more on the Saturday night.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. That's what's fun about it.
Yeah.
Because I have no. It's not like.
You're not. There's not a lot into it. You're not tied to the outcome. It's like a fun thing, and if it works, it works, and if not,
It is fun.
you'll find something.
It is
else.
fun. I'm happy. I'll make a couple of pizzas for the staff. The Olympia is like going crazy. They go, this is fantastic. I try things out on them.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'll do different pizzas. This week I'm doing meat lovers. Whatever that may be. Prosciutto, spicy sausage, pepperoni, spicy pepperoni. It's
Yeah.
something different, right? That's done in a different style.
Mhm.
And I priced everything one price, taxes in, done, right?
Yeah, it
There
makes
is-
it nice and easy. It's limited quantity. Like from a business standpoint, it's just a nice, predictable way to run things.
Right.
And the price is amazing. It's insanely low,
Right.
in my opinion. I can't believe how expensive pizza is now.
Oh, yeah.
But for a couple dollars more, you're getting it from there versus the other chain that my kids are obsessed with, which is a couple dollars less, and it sucks.
Yeah.
And I cannot believe
It's-
it's literally $4 more.
It's
And
so
it's
hard. to
perfect
find.
pizza.
Yeah.
I love you, man. Thanks.
Yeah, in all honesty, like I love food. I love pizza. I love Gusto pizza. I love Pied Monk. They're different though,
Right.
and they're different cravings and different tastes that you want. This pizza to me, I remember I text Brian, I think, and I
Yeah.
just was like, this pizza's perfect.
Right.
It's just beautiful. The dough, the cheese, the fresh ingredients. You pick off the individual stuff, and that tastes good on its own.
Right.
And like that's what you need from pizza, and it's perfect. I'm mad when I miss it. I knew last week I do like Hawaiian pizza,
Right.
and I knew I wasn't going to be able to pick it up at 5 when the only time I can kind of get out to get it that night. And I was like mad all week when I saw that you're doing it. I was like, oh my god! But then I also love now you're back this week, so I'm like, sweet, I can get out there and get it this week. So
maybe next week I don't do it. All depends. If I'm away, I was away a weekend. I didn't do it. People said, "Hey man, you doing pizza this week?"
Yeah.
I get texts all the time.
Oh,
I said,
yeah.
no, I'm not. I send a text out because a lot of guys aren't on Insta.
Yeah.
So I send a text out to 10 people. If anybody wants to do that stuff, you just find me and I'll text you.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing, and we'll put you in, right?
That's how it works, and that's what's exciting too.
Yeah,
because
like,
the ghost
it's like-
kitchen, it could disappear. Lou gets bored; he goes to something else.
See you later.
It's gone forever. If you want perfect pizza, get it now.
What I love about this, and this brings me back to another trend I'm noticing, is I teach microeconomics a little bit, and I love the idea that in the long run there's no economic profit, and we go through these cycles. And we go through a cycle where everything centralizes and everything becomes like we want to scale everything and mass everything, and we want, social media guy with 1 million followers. But then what really works in the long run is people love their community and they love small connections. So the idea of like a text list and like a little business that's built around the personal, beautiful thing like pizza, I just love. And I think we're maybe going through a cycle where people want just more of that local, personal, one-on-one stuff a lot more.
I love it that I do it, and people come in to see us.
Yeah.
They walk back into the Olympia kitchen, which is where it's getting done right now, right? Okay,
Yeah.
that's now. And they've never been in the back of a kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really
You're
cool.
looking at all
back
that stuff.
there.
You're like, what's going on in here?
Yeah.
Right? Guys are buzzing around. Things are happening. They're commenting on us. They're busy. We're busy. People are screaming. We're like, we're laughing. It's fun, and it is a sense of community.
Yeah.
Because people are going, oh my God, we're so glad you're back.
Yeah.
We're so glad you're around. You're still here. You're still doing stuff. I said, here for now. Who knows what happens next month, right? Who knows how this plays out? But it's been fun in this transition in my life to do Aroma Pizza. And it's brought some fun back into the restaurant.
Yeah.
I love Pane Vino.
Yeah.
I loved everything that we did there. COVID was just like, it exasperated everything else that you could imagine, especially in this business, in a smaller community, when you're doing that finer dine thing happening. And, I was subject to everything else. And it just came to the point where, not broken. We're just like not defeated. I didn't sell a product which was dead. It was still an ongoing concern. Our last night there was an amazing love affair of everyone. We've had weddings and deaths and births and families and everything. I've been part of this community just like my father was at the cottage restaurant, at the Olympia restaurant, part of the community. Like my sister is at the Olympia, still to this day, keeping that restaurant 100 years later, 120 years
It's
later.
amazing there. I went
Still
for
rocking.
New Year's Eve, and it was just amazing. Like everyone who was there, I think it was fully booked with reservations, and the way she hosted and knew everyone, and the way people were dressed up and happy. To me, it was like a throwback to like a different time, but
Right.
also exactly what everyone wants. And it was like a perfect.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we've missed that for a few years, right? We got out of that cycle. We got used to being at home, used to doing this stuff, used to having everything brought to you. And the Aroma Pizza thing is it gets you out of your thing. You got to go pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to come see us. I'm not delivering it. I could deliver it. I bought a little car that would be perfect to deliver, like I'm ready to go, right?
Yeah.
But I like it the way it is.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and it's fun doing different things. I can't go crazy because there's only me making pizzas. It's not two guys. Like, if we had more, we could do more. But we're choosing to stay this way. I'm choosing to stay this way right now. I love it this way. I think it's fun. It's great seeing people I haven't seen. It's great seeing people I haven't seen in a while. It's great seeing regular guys that I used to serve all the time. And then it's great seeing people, I don't even know who they are. Who are you?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
did you see this from?
That's the best. Like, I know we talk about it in our own businesses, like when a stranger shows up, it's just exciting.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about it, because it takes that one-on-one. And what's great is they come in one-on-one to see you doing it, and it's part of you. And then if they like it, if you do it right, because there's always that thing, food is an art. Artists are in their own little world, right? They're always second-guessing themselves.
Yeah.
Did I do it right? Is that good? Is that great? Am I right? The same thing with my restaurant. Same thing with all of it all the time. Did we do that right? Is that good? How's that going to be taken? You're constantly judged. You're only as good as your last meal. It's stuff like that, right? We've become in a world of fast food and fast chains and fast everything and fast get on the phone and say,
and people
you
love-
suck.
Yeah.
Or also, you're great. It both ways. I'm not saying it's all suck. Pane Vino stuff is still there. The reviews were always as good as we could do. We strive to elevate the experience. I love that word. That's a great word today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Elevate that experience. It's like you walk into Thrive here. It's like, it's elevated, man. You go like, what happened to this space? I can tell you what this space was before.
Yeah.
And then you come here and go like, wow, people. If you're looking for stuff to do this kind of, you need your meeting space. You need this. This is pro.
Thank you. It was intentional, and what you said earlier resonated with me, where when you opened the restaurant, you wanted to be different. You wanted something that's not been here, that almost looks out of place, right? Because it's so elevated, and that's what we wanted to do here. It would have been easy to get a different space or take this space and just slap up some walls and try to get people through here. That's not what's important for this space, and I think Lindsay and the Kawartha Lakes. Like, we need to elevate our things. We need to bring that California flair, Italy, bigger cities here,
Right.
and take it to the next level. I don't care if people are putting their nose up or like, oh, it's too nice or whatever. Like, that'll never work in Lindsay. That's what we're here for. That's what I think we're all trying to do. So
Yeah, it takes visionaries, guys with vision, some young adults to come back to the community to do that kind of stuff, right? And not to be just employed at the hospital, at the city of Kawartha Lakes, an educator or a nurse or something that way, to change the dynamics, because we are in a customer service oriented community.
Yeah.
There is not much. We're starting to see a little more thriving economic, industrial stuff, but not to the level it was when we first came here.
Sure.
Union Carbide and Abex and all these
it's
companies that were
different.
here. It's changed. Dynamics have changed. Kawartha Lakes changed. We still have that ability to be this. Listen, they're not going to build 6,000 homes here because it's just became that way. This is the last place left. Barry's built out of crazy. Muskoka's gone nuts. Kingston that way's gone. Coburg, Port Hope. It's
Like, I
this
grew
is-
up in Belleville, and going back there now, it's built up, and
Yeah.
just there's like whole new areas that I didn't even know existed.
and that's going to happen here, right? And it's good for young entrepreneurs to be here, because there's the ability to do things, right? And to get people excited about, why am I in Lindsay? Why is it not just, what are we doing here, right? You can survive here.
Yeah.
It takes time. Leslie Frost told my dad when he first came here at the cottage restaurant, he said, Chris, you're going to do amazingly well in Lindsay. Lindsay's going to be fantastic for you. In 40 years, you're going to be a millionaire. It'll be amazing. He goes, you know why, Chris? And my dad goes, why? Because depression never hits Lindsay. My dad goes, what do you mean? He says, yeah, Lindsay's always depressed.
I like that.
When you look at that, it's Leslie Frost telling you they liked it, kept it this way, right? And they still keep it that way.
Oh, there's people. Yeah, people like it the way it used to be.
And the way it was, there was downtown events happen, homecoming, it was great, but it got poo-pooed because there were guys drinking on the streets. Like, God forbid that guys do that stuff, right?
Yeah.
I guess you can only do that in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, in New Orleans. You can't do it anywhere else.
Yeah.
You know, it was just one weekend, but it brought 25, 30, 40,000 people to Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
I would tell people, I said, put everything out on the street. Sell it all.
Yeah.
Everything you got, put it for $1.
Yeah.
It doesn't sell everything. Where do you get 40,000 people a year to come in town?
Sell everything.
On a weekend, everything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention names. Guys would like close their doors at 5
Yeah.
o'clock. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Put it out. Biggest sale ever.
Everything for $1. Sell everything.
Yeah.
Sell it all, man. Stuff that's sitting in your basement. Who cares?
Yeah, bring it
Oh,
on.
that's funny.
It's trying to change the mentality of that sales summit. That changed me when I was in the U.S. You know, Canada's a very how can I say without being mean? I won't be mean. It's very. They like it the way it is. Status quo.
I have a thing I've been saying. So Dan Sullivan, who's a thinker, I stole this from him, but he's an American who also lives in Canada, and he runs a company called Strategic Coach, which is probably the best real entrepreneur program in the world. But he says if you look at the founding documents of each country, you learn everything you need to know about them. So America's about the sort of individual pursuit of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And Canada's about peace, order, and good government.
Right.
And that kind of sums up probably what you're saying. We like things kind of the way they are. We want change, but we don't really want change. Whereas in the States, it's like, I think people collaborate more because everyone's individually competing. But to make it, you got to like collaborate, and there's just a lot more.
Well, just go to the
Stuff
supermarkets.
happens. Yeah.
Just walk into the supermarket. Just in Washington, D.C. this week. I lived in the States 15 years. I can tell you right now the change. You walk in our supermarkets and you're like, okay. And you walk in the U.S. one, you're like, whoa, what just happened here, right?
Yeah.
It's double the amount of product. The marketing is more vibrant, and more selection,
Yeah.
right? And we've been used to this.
Yeah, we love what's there. Yeah.
That's why I love the U.S.
Yeah.
It's a love and hate place. We love to hate it, right?
Yeah.
We get back to, let me get back to Lindsay. Lindsay's on the cusp of taking off. It's sitting there growing. Is it the right people coming to town? I don't know. Are these people going to support everyone locally? I don't know. It's going to take time to see that stuff. We need some strategic thinking
Yeah.
up in head office that's not done for just senior living, and which is a part of our community, right? And
Sure.
a part of my customer base and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
all that
It's
stuff.
part of it.
And maybe a part of your customer base.
I think I've met a lot of young people who have just like, there's two different people at the gym we go to who are like, they made a circle about where they wanted to live and they just randomly picked Lindsay and they bought houses here and moved here and they love the local small town, like get out, get involved type stuff. And we just need more of those people as well and to engage them to do things.
Sure. And we need places for them to go.
Yeah.
Restaurants. Pizza pop-ups. It's like, people stop me. When's your next pizza pop-up? I go, next week. They go, okay, perfect. I'll get on the order. I'll order on Monday. I said, so I post on Monday, post on Tuesday, whatever I post, it just comes out for who knows what's going to happen this week. But the pizza will be good. And the great thing is I make one for myself too. So
Oh, yeah.
I get to have some pizza, the wine that's chosen this week, and I get to choose a different wine.
Yeah.
I try to choose something every week that's different, something you haven't had, or some of the old favorites that were favorites of the old restaurant, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And it has a following, which is like fantastic. And this has been a great foray for me to
Yeah.
talk about that a bit, right? So
The wine I took a picture of it. And I've started a folder in my phone for my favorite wines.
All right.
And it's the only one there right now because it was the only one where I hope that I can find it again. Because at first it was like jarring.
right.
Because I was like, I've never tasted anything like this. I'm not you and your taste, and I've not been there yet. But I love wine, and I would like to get more drinking wine. If I could just drink wine all the time, I'd be happy. Red wine.
Right.
But this one was jarring because I was like, what is this? I've never tasted anything like this. And at first I was like, I don't even know if I like this because my body was so confused.
Right.
It was the best.
That's awesome.
Best bottle of wine I've ever had because it was so much flavor and my tongue was just dancing. And like a roller coaster of different flavors that I've never experienced from any bottle of wine.
And I choose wine on those dynamics and also how it goes with what you're eating, right? And that pizza, I just love pizza, wine, food, wine. I just love wine. And that wine that you had, that, and I know which one it was, 100% Montepulciano is off the charts. That wine is off the charts.
The next week I went to buy an Italian wine, which I haven't bought in years, because I was like, I have to find this. And I thought it looked the same on the shelf. I'm like, maybe this one is it.
Was it?
No, it wasn't. Not even close, actually. It was still good, but it opened me up to like Italian wine now again.
To look at some different avenues. There's so many. The biggest wine regions, France, Italy, USA, Australia, and then start getting Spain, Portugal.
What do you think of Niagara wines?
Niagara wines there's some great producers out there.
Yeah.
And they're doing some beautiful wines. And Ontario gets poo-pooed in the wine industry. There's a lot of hesitation to drink Ontario wines. Everybody wants to drink European or American or Australian. Australians had its own falling off a bit, but, France, Italy, Spain, USA. And Ontario gets poo-pooed, but there's some fantastic white wines, some fantastic rosés, some beautiful red wines, not monstrous California or Australian style wines, but more delicate.
That's my struggle is like the red wine from Niagara Falls. I've never had a bottle that I've loved.
Right.
So challenge may be accepted.
And I understand, but it's hard to find that style of wine because of our growing climate in Ontario. The growing season's not as long. The grape varieties can't produce enough sugar in their stuff with the sun to make it that style that you may be interested in.
That's fascinating.
So it's hard to come out that way. So that's why you see more Chardonnay, which is a cool climate grape variety.
Yeah.
Pinot Noir, which is more a cool climate, less affected by, the cold. You'll see a lot of Gamay Noir, Baco Noir, Blau Frankish. You see things that are more attuned to cold climate. And the Cab Merlots, it's coming. The climate is changing. It's getting warmer. Look outside today.
Yeah.
It's 13 degrees, February the 28th, right?
Snow day.
Yeah, snow day.
I'm golfing Friday. March 1st.
Really?
Literally, yeah, I'm not kidding.
I love it. Wow. Okay. Wow.
A friend of mine texted me, didn't say anything, just sent me a link. And then on the front of the homepage was like tea times, or it's opening tomorrow. And I've just booked a time. And I was like, hey, I booked a time for Friday. He's like, are you serious? It's like, yeah. He's like, I'll be there. I was like, when am I going to have an opportunity to golf March 1st? Here, at least.
Yeah, right. It's changed completely. I grew up in downtown Lindsay. There were 8-foot snowbanks.
Yeah.
And guys coming from the Royal passing out in the snowbanks. And from the Benson Hotel and the Kent and the Central. It was different times. It's completely different, right? You see this whole thing is changing. Where it goes and how it ends, maybe it's just that cycle.
Yeah. That's the first time that's happened.
It's the first time you've had a guy with hands. That talks with his hands all day long. That's me talking with my hands. Sorry, these guys are laughing at me. Sorry, I'm breaking the place. That's the story.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much. This has been a nice long conversation.
Has it been? Have we gone way over time? Thanks.
We have, and it's amazing. I'm so
thanks,
happy
guys.
with it.
It's been a great. Thank you for inviting me. Thanks for having me in your space and letting me be part of you guys' podcast. And sorry if I rambled on too long.
You did not ramble at all. This was amazing.
I love it. Thanks.
How do people order Aroma Pizza? Instagram?
Aroma Pizza on Instagram. It's AROMAA and pizza with a double A. And it's there. And, we got 500 followers. It's just happening.
That's a lot in that
We're just
time you've been
letting it happen,
Yeah.
right? You see it's changed in restaurants now. They open up and they have like 5,000 followers in the first month. When I started, it took us forever to make the 2,000 followers with a very, very... I had this young girl, Emma Pasco, doing our Insta and our social media, and she did a fantastic job. And I just let her do it herself, and she created this whole little branding of Pane Vino before you're in the stuff with this Matt. Yeah. just on that same page, right? And now with this one, I'm just doing reels. I'm just here. This is us alive. This week it could be there. Next week it could be over there. Here's a couple reels, us making some pizza. Come and get it.
Yeah.
That's it. So off to the races again this week.
Awesome.
Right.
Exciting. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks,
it's been
guys.
great having you. And that is our show. Matt, how do the people find you and what do you want them to know?
Go to mattygdigital.com and book a call.
Awesome. And I'm Brian, and you can get me at profitcoach.ca. And if you want to be on the podcast, you can reach out to us at setitup@kawarthasmallbusinesspodcast.ca.